And now we have Jagruti Dave joining us live from Washington, D.C. in the U.S. Jagruti, thank you so much for being with us here on the broadcast on WION World is One. Talk to us. It's going to be one of the most talked about State of the Union addresses in a long time. It had some reality show flourishes, but no mention of the impeachment.
Yes, indeed. This was primetime reality TV. From the moment President Trump refused to shake hands with Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, to the moment he reunited a woman with her husband who was a veteran in Afghanistan and deployed there and hadn't seen his family for months, the president said, to right at the end when Nancy Pelosi literally tears up the speech that the president just gave, all those papers that she was looking at, right behind him as the president is standing there receiving standing ovation and claps from the Republicans in the chamber. Truly a State of the Union that we've probably never seen before. And really, that was probably the point. It was one of those speeches that was an election speech. It really felt like that. All those points that ticked off that list. He hit all those high notes for his base in particular. He talked about immigration. He talked about the border wall. He criticised the previous administration time and time again. He talked about socialism, the evils of socialism, and the merits of freedom that America can give, particularly after introducing that extraordinary moment where he introduced Juan Guaido, the opposition leader, as the legitimate president of Venezuela, and then moved swiftly on, segueing onto healthcare, tying the socialism in Cuba and Venezuela clearly to the Democrats and the plans for Medicare for all that some Democrat candidates such as Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are proposing. So yes, a truly extraordinary State of the Union.
Right, and Trump is only the second president to make the State of the Union address. Even as an impeachment trial, Bill Clinton was the previous president, and in about 24 hours from now, the fate of that will be sealed as well. And that is the same as pitching for re-election in the State of the Union address, asking the American voters to keep him in the White House.
Yes, indeed. There were chants of 4 more years from the Republicans in the chamber. And really his pitch is that this line that he said, that any victory that matters in Washington is the victory of the American people. And he's really saying, really making a pitch for the American people to say, this is what has happened under my administration. All these lists of achievements that he trotted out in this speech, which the fact checkers are probably going mad trying to verify and trying to update to make sure whether these facts are correct indeed or not. But he's really making a play to the American people to say, this is what I have done, bring me back for 4 more years. And that is what the impeachment is all about really as well, that the Democrats wanted to show that this is a president who is not trustworthy, and his acquittal, it's unclear as to really whether that's going to affect how people see the president really, because polls have shown that the perception of Donald Trump has been unmoved on either side. So, I mean, the impeachment itself didn't feature literally in the speech, but of course he was standing there in the State of the Union giving the address in the very chamber where he was in fact impeached.
Right. Interesting times in America. Jagruti, I also want to understand what's going to happen post the State of the Union address, because you know how the public reacts. If the impeachment trial is going to end with a Trump acquittal, and that's not going to move his perception or his image in terms of votes, do you think the State of the Union address could push things over the edge in favor of Trump?
Well, the impeachment inquiry, the impeachment trial is due to end tomorrow. The acquittal of the president has been expected from the very beginning of proceedings. The Senate has a majority Republican membership, and it needs 2/3 majority to convict him. So that would be 67 votes. The Democrats just do not have those numbers. So it is expected that the president will be acquitted tomorrow afternoon Eastern Time, and that will be the end of the impeachment trial. And this State of the Union address was really, in many ways it could be seen as part of his election camp, his pitch to the American people. And the impeachment is something a lot of people, mixed views about it. As I say, those who have always supported the president will continue to support him. Those who would like to see him removed from office continue to do so. And the impeachment proceedings haven't really shifted those goalposts on either side.
Right. And he struck a deep emotional chord by bringing back the soldiers. Literally, one of them brought into the State of the Union address. How much of an impact do you think that's going to have on the average American voter, the undecided ones at this stage?
Well, it's difficult to say. I mean, there are many kitchen sink issues that affect Americans: the economy, schools, health, education, immigration, all of those the president touched upon. And these moments, these TV-worthy reality show moments that are bringing the veteran back to reunite him with his wife, getting a 100-year-old African-American Air Force member with his great-grandson in the audience, talking about the Space Force, all of these things, these are moments, these are almost sort of entertainment moments for people who are used to very sort of staid, very predictable State of the Union addresses. So clearly he gave the audience something different, and he, many are commentating that he treated this very much like a reality TV show, gripping to watch from start to finish, with all of these elements in it. So in terms of undecideds, a lot of things affect undecided voters. Right. So it'll be, we'll have to wait and see, really, as to which of those issues really push with those undecided members of the public.
Right, Jagriti, we'll step away from that and step on to all the global issues, the foreign relations issues that Trump touched upon. One is the backing of the Middle East peace plan. The other is the killing of General Qasem Soleimani in Iran, and Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS. Trump also doing something unprecedented, which is bringing Juan Guaido and making him stand up inside the House as the official legitimate president of Venezuela. Not seen or heard before in recent times.
That was truly a remarkable moment, quite stunning for him to bring forward somebody who is an opposition leader and declare him in the State of the in Congress, in the chamber, in front of both chambers of Congress, to say that this is the legitimate leader of Venezuela. It's really. When it was known that Juan Guaido was going to attend the State of the Union, it was really seen as an attempt to push along that agenda, to give momentum to Guaido's campaign and momentum to the American push to oust Nicolas Maduro, who is currently the president of Venezuela. But, the way he got him to stand up, the way he said, send a message to the Venezuelan people that we back you. It was really one of those standout moments that we've never seen before in something like the State of the Union address.
Jagriti Dave joining us with live updates straight from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Jagriti, for being with us here on the broadcast on WION World is One.